Hi everyone, let's talk about your persuasive speech assignment. The first thing that I want to do with you all is make sure you understand the difference between an informative speech and a persuasive speech. Typically, in an informative presentation where you're just educating us about something, all you want to do is use neutral, non-opinionated, unbiased language. That's why, for instance, you would talk about something like a disease or the history of an event or a place or an animal, because that's just all factual information. We're going to talk about the symptoms, causes, and treatment of diabetes. Doctors recommend that if you want to prevent diabetes, you should eat a healthy diet, you should exercise regularly, you should watch for certain kinds of risky activities that would increase your blood sugar level. You see how that's informative and educational in nature. Well, if you want to talk about diabetes as a persuasive speech, you might use language like, don't get diabetes. You want to cut your risk of diabetes because you need to exercise every day. You need to eat healthy foods every day. I'm going to tell you that if you can eat this every day and cut out that you're going to reduce your risk of diabetes and you're going to live longer, you're going to live happier, you're going to be a much healthier person, and you're going to see your children grow up, all that kind of thing. So you're going to use more colorful language, more adjectives, more you, more us, more we. You're going to be just passionate about it. So that's obviously the first thing, the first step in choosing your persuasive speech is, what is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I'm really excited about? What is it that makes me really angry? And once you decide on those things, then you want to try to convince us, the people who are watching your video, to do whatever it is you want us to do. So I want you to stop smoking. You need to do these things to stop smoking. I want you to become a vegetarian. You need to do these things to become a vegetarian. I want you to not drink and drive. You need to do these things to not drink and drive. So whatever it is that you feel very strongly about, you've got to figure out how we're going to do that too, because that will inspire us or motivate us or influence us to live a better life. Or you can even look at it as trying to sell us something. I'm trying to sell you on having a happier life. Let's go through your outline format so I can explain the different components in there that will help you during the process of putting this information together. All right, so the first thing you'll notice when you see the outline format is the introduction. The introduction needs to be a personal, emotional story to establish credibility. Now, the reason why it needs to be a personal, emotional story is because as human beings, we live on gut reactions. We do things with our hearts. We're impulsive creatures. So if you can tell us how something affected you emotionally, then you can hook us right off the bat. And that personal story also helps to establish credibility so that we understand why this topic is so important to you. What's your level of knowledge about this topic? We know how committed you are to this topic. So you need to make sure that you start your speech off with this kind of an introduction, and then you're going to tell us what the solution is. So now if we look at the examples that I've given you, they all use this format, but I'm going to talk about the last one that's in the examples, which is the motorcycle riding course. So listen to this. Listen to me read this introduction. Hear the passion and the energy that I put, the conviction that I put into this introduction. It's not even my speech, but it's something that I can understand how that student relates to. All right. Most of my life, I thought riding a motorcycle was dumb. To me, it was an unnecessary risk. Then about 2 years ago, I won a free training course at the Harley dealership. I decided it couldn't hurt to just learn. So ever since that course, I have been hooked. Not only did the course make me feel more confident, it thoroughly prepared me for real-world situations. I've been riding for years now, and I still use the information that I learned in that first day. Now, whether you currently own a motorcycle, or you might own one someday, or even if you just spend a lot of time on the road, I want you to take a motorcycle rider course. So you see how that student did that? You can tell that the student was obviously very interested in this topic, very committed to this topic, and then you knew what the student wanted you to do at the end of listening to that personal story. So I want you to start off strong, right out the gate. Tell us how important this topic is to you, all right? Then after you do that, what you're going to do is develop some calls to action, CTA. You can't tell us to do something. You can't tell us to stop doing something without telling us how to do it, all right? I want you to stop smoking. Okay, how am I going to stop smoking? I want you to not drink and drive. Okay, how am I not going to drink and drive? I want you to become a vegetarian. Okay, how can I become a vegetarian? I want you to read your Bible more. Okay, how can I read my Bible more? Those are the kinds of things that you need to think about. The trick is, when you come up with your calls to action, you don't know who in your audience is going to be watching. So that's why you need to come up with several calls to action, because they will appeal to the different people who are in your audience. Let's say that I want you to stop smoking. You guys need to stop smoking. It's bad for you. It's terrible. You're going to kill yourself by smoking. All right? Some of the people in your audience who are listening, now remember, you're talking to me. You're talking to your classmates. That's your audience. Talking to me, guys. You're talking to your peers. So some of the people that you're talking to might be smokers. So for those people, you need to have a call to action specifically for them. I want you to talk to your healthcare provider and find out about a smoking cessation program. You might want to check into Chantix. Chantix has these kinds of side effects and these kinds of, it works this way. People have had this kind of success with it. So look into this program. I want you to go buy a pack of nicotine gum. I want you to go buy some patches. Those are things that you can tell your smoking audience to do to stop smoking. But what about me? I'm not a smoker. So you're sitting here telling me to do something I'm not doing. So how am I supposed to react or respond? You need to have a call to action for me. All right? Okay, so for those of you in my audience who are listening to me talk, who are not smokers, this is what I want you to do. You probably look at your friend who's smoking or your family member who's smoking. You think, wow, that person looks really cool. You know, they keep offering me a puff and I'm kind of tempted. And, you know, someday I might just give in and I might start smoking. You know, it just looks really cool, and it might help take off the stress, takes the edge off of my stresses that I'm going through. Don't do it. All right, you are not a smoker. I don't want you to be tempted to smoke. Do not take that cigarette. I want you to think about the repercussions. I want you to think about the damage that you're doing to your lungs. That is what could happen to you if you take one puff of your friend's cigarette or your sibling's cigarette. So don't be tempted to do that. Now, another suggestion might be for those of you who are smokers. All right, Miss Davies, I'm talking to you. You're not a smoker. I want you to help somebody you love who is a smoker to quit. I want you to become an advocate against smoking. I don't want you to sit there and just let that secondhand smoke billow into your face. I want you to take action now. So I want you to find a hypnosis course or a smoking cessation course and get your loved one signed up for it. I want you to give them a gift card for a month's supply of Chantix or patches or nicotine gum. I want you to give a smoker who is a loved one the resources they need to quit smoking. That's what I want you to do. Now, there might also be people in your audience who aren't really sure. You know, I'm not sure if I should start smoking or stop smoking. Those people need a little more education. So for those people, you might suggest that they do some research. Let's do some additional research. If you're not really sure about this, I want you to go to tobaccofree.org. And when you go to that website, they're going to answer every question about what happens to your body when you smoke. And you're going to educate yourself. And once you see those pictures, once you see those testimonials, you will realize that you will never want to start smoking. If you're smoking now, when you read those, you will see that you need to quit immediately. So you see the kind of language that I'm using. If you go back to the motorcycle example, you can see that in this particular one, they have 4 calls to action. You don't have to. This particular one just happened to. So her first call to action was sign up for the basic course. And she tells us how to sign up, but she says, what are you waiting for? This is a perfect thing for you to do. Go sign up for the course. And then she says, if you've already got your motorcycle endorsement, why don't you take the advanced course? All right, you learned all the basics. Now let's take it a step further. Let's become even safer out there on the road. And then she says that you can give a gift. I have seen on Groupon, actually, motorcycle rider courses like half price or something, because those courses can be kind of expensive. So maybe if you can find one that's half off for yourself or gift it to somebody else for their birthday or a holiday or something, that's great. You've given that opportunity to somebody. And then the 4th one, not sure it's for you, learn more about it at this website. And when you go to this website, they're going to have FAQs and they're going to answer all your questions about why you need to take a motorcycle rider course. So these are specific action things that we in the audience can do to take this motorcycle rider course. Once you've done your calls to action, once you've established them, then you need to look at your ethics and your logic. Let me explain a little bit about ethics because people get kind of confused about that. When we talk about ethics, we're talking about trust and credibility and reputation, all right? So whatever it is you're asking us to do, you need to tell us how we can trust whatever this is, how reliable it is, how credible it is, all right? In the case of the motorcycle rider one, she lumped all her ethics into one section. And she talked about the ethics, the trust, the reliability, the credibility of the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, right? She told us how long they have been in existence, how many people they've certified, how they certified their leaders and their coaches. So that tells us this is a reputable organization and that we will be in safe hands if we take a course from them. And some of the other ones have ethics with each of the calls to action, all right? Ethics might be something like giving us a testimonial from a subject matter expert, an inspirational quote. You want us to learn how to forgive other people. So maybe you might give us a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. or Gandhi. That will help motivate us and inspire us with words of wisdom from somebody we trust and we believe is credible. All right. So use ethics as a way to help us understand that what we're doing isn't just some off-the-wall crazy idea, that there is a foundation in credibility with it. If you want us to adopt from the SPCA, tell us about the credentials of the SPCA. Tell us that this is a worthy organization, that when we support it and we get our animal from it, that we're going to a good place and it's not a puppy mill or something like that. Logic is where you're going to use your statistics and your facts. You're going to tell us the credibility of this organization is based on the statistics of these people who have passed the course, the number of people who have successfully quit smoking because they've used Chantix. You're going to give us those statistics, and they need to be positive statistics, all right? So for instance, if you want us to adopt from the SPCA, you're not going to sit here and tell us that 63 million animals get euthanized every year, because that's a negative. That's a part of the problem. So what you want to say is that when people adopt from the SPCA, they save this many animals every year. All right. So we're turning that statistic into a positive statistic, and we're showing how we can make a difference. So, 50 million smokers in the world, 30 million of them who take Chantix have successfully quit smoking. I just made up those statistics, but you want to use real numbers and real facts. So find the positive outcome, the positive result of whatever it is you're asking us to do. That goes in your logic section. So if you look at the motorcycle one, she talks about how they provide discounts, how they have their certification programs, and how they have independent schools and they have state schools, and they've done extensive research to help educate their students about the safety of the program. So this goes into logic. This is all your fact stuff right here, all right? Emotion, you can add a little more emotion to this because, like I said, we're impulsive people. We do things, oh, I want this, I want this. So go ahead and feed into that a little bit and tell us how we're going to feel by doing what it is that you're asking us to do. The next component on here is cost. For everything in the world, you guys, there's a cost, and a cost is a negative. It's something that you have to give up or something that's taken away from you. Most of the time when we think of cost, we think in terms of money, all right? And that's a big motivator. Oh, you're going to take my money away from me. You better give me something good in exchange. But in addition to how much something costs financially, it might also have other costs. What are we giving up that is of value to us? Are you asking me to give up time? I want you to volunteer. Yes, it's going to take time. It'll take you 3 hours a week or 3 hours a month of your time to volunteer. It might take up your sanity. You're going to go crazy doing this, but you're going to feel satisfied at the end. All right. I want you to join the military. Well, if you join the military, then you're probably going to give up your freedom. You're going to give up your independence. You're going to give up your access to your family. Those are costs. Those are negatives. So you need to tell us up front the exact amount of money we're going to have to pay for something, and you need to tell us what other things we're going to give up as well. After cost, we have reward. Just like there's a negative, there's a positive. What do we gain from doing what you're asking us to do? What am I going to get out of it? Now, it's very, very important when you think about what the audience is going to get out of it. Let me give you an example. I want you to adopt from the SPCA. When you adopt from the SPCA, you are going to save an animal's life. Well, that's great. That's the reward for the animal. What's the reward for me? All right. So the reward for me might be I gain a companion. I gain somebody who's going to lick my face every day when I come home, somebody who's going to give me unconditional love. That's my reward for adopting from the SPCA. Saving the animal's life isn't my reward. Feeling good about saving the animal's life, yes, that might be my reward. So you have to make sure that you target the rewards or the benefits specifically to the person you're talking to, all right? And then we also have on here needs met. If you remember from Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have our physiological needs, which is survival. We have our safety needs. We have our love and belongingness needs. We have our esteem needs, and we have our self-actualization needs. Now, you need to identify what needs are you satisfying by doing whatever it is that we're going to be doing. So if I stop smoking, will it help my survival needs? Probably, because I'll probably be a little bit healthier, so I'll live a little bit longer. Will it help my safety needs? Maybe not. Will it help my love and belongingness needs? Probably. People might want to hang out with me more if I'm not all stinky and, puffing smoke at them and stuff. Will it help my esteem needs? Probably. I'm going to feel better about myself because I feel healthier and I know that people want to be around me. Will it help my self-actualization needs? It might. That's achieving goals. So would I be able to achieve goals if I stop smoking? Maybe, because I might live longer. So whatever it is you're asking us to do won't apply to all 5 of the needs, but it might apply to 2 or 3 of the needs. So you want to identify those. And then we have timeliness. Timeliness means, why is this important now? You need to tell us why we need to do this now. We don't want to put it off for the future because then it's going to be too late. I want you to save money. You need to save money. Well, if you don't save money now, you're not going to have money later. But most people don't think about later because they're too worried about now. So if I want you to invest money, that's what I want you to do. It's going to make you happier if you invest money so that when you're 80 years old, you're not eating cat food, right? Well, these are ways that you can save money now, and it won't stop you from being able to pay your bills and make your obligations now. You can still go out to the movies or dinner, and you can still enjoy life now. But guess what? A year from now, 2 years from now, 50 years from now, you're going to have some money put away because you kept taking it out now. So you need to show the advantage of doing this now rather than waiting until later. And then we have proximity. Proximity means closeness, literally, but it also has to do with convenience. How can you make it easy for us to do what it is you want us to do? Direct us to websites, direct us to opportunities. I had a student who wanted us to read a book. That's what she wanted us to do. I want you to read this book. And what she did was she gave us the different ways that we could go about accessing the book. Go to your local library and check it out. If you're an audiobook person, download it as an audiobook. If you're a Kindle reader, here's how you can get the Kindle book. If you're an Amazon shopper, which I am, here's where you can find it on Amazon, and you can either order a hard copy of the book or you can download a Kindle copy of the book. So she gave us all kinds of ways that we could get to this book, which was her objective. All right? And then finally, in your conclusion, you need to end with an emotional impact statement. Again, we are heart-ridden creatures. We do everything because we feel a certain way. So you have to end on a really strong, high emotional note. And then remind us again what it is you want us to do. So listen to the conclusion of the motorcycle course. Odds are in your lifetime, you or someone you know will get on a motorcycle. The most important factor when it comes to riding is safety. Take a motorcycle safety foundation course and enjoy a lifetime of riding that awaits. Thank you. All right. So this one was a positive note. Sometimes they might be kind of like, before you get in your car, make sure you buckle your seatbelt, because if you don't, that might be the last time anybody ever sees you. All right. So that's more of a down note. But whatever you do, it needs to be an emotional statement, because you got to hit us one last time to do what it is you want us to do. So I know this is a challenging assignment, and I know you're going to have to do a little bit of thinking on it. Don't pick a really hard topic, because then you're just going to end up frustrating yourself. But pick something easy, and it doesn't have to be end world peace, or, you know, we need world peace, or you know, stop capital punishment. It doesn't need to be any of those kinds of things. It can be something lighthearted. Buy me a monkey. Wear flip-flops every day of your life, or learn to forgive other people. But think of something that's passionate to you, and you want to help us become as passionate about it as well. Good luck.